Hey everybody, a little weather update for you. This is Thursday, August the 26th. As I'm recording this, I'm going to focus pretty much entirely on a developing hurricane south of Cuba as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, where we think it will go from there. And a lot of people are starting to ask, could it impact us? Because much of the area really could use some rain. And sometimes these tropical systems in the Gulf can bring us some needed rain. So we'll talk about that. And then the very last thing I'll show you is kind of a comparison of some of the sea surface temperature anomalies now and another year I found which is kind of similar. And of course, that's something I use when I'm doing a winter outlook. So we'll just kind of end with that. So let's start with what we have now, and that is the dry weather. The drought monitor came out earlier today. This is based on information through Tuesday, so rains over the last couple of days didn't get factored into this, but you can see our northern counties, especially in Indiana, north of Terre Haute, and down towards about Bedford and Bloomington, are now in the low end, or what we call abnormally dry. A lot of the area could use some rain. So let's kind of focus on our rain chances. And this is something we watch this time of the year because tropical systems, of course, sometimes can come up here and provide some pretty beneficial rain. We said a couple weeks ago the tropics were going to get active. Of course, we had Fred, which came up into the U.S. We had Grace, which reached a major Category 3 status before it went into Mexico. And Henri, which you probably heard about as it moved into the New England area over the weekend. That was all last week. Here we go now with this week. And this is a developing, what will be a hurricane. It's a tropical storm now, named Ida. It is south of Cuba, not far from the center, not far from Jamaica right now. And here's the details on this as of this evening. It's a minimal tropical storm, 40 miles per hour winds, moving northwest at 13, but we forecast once it crosses Cuba to become a hurricane and forecast to move into South Louisiana probably late Sunday, afternoon, evening. Forecast on this right now has it as a high-end Category 2, possibly a low-end Category 3, which will be considered a major hurricane. And I'll show you the wind forecast, some of the models on this in a minute. But the question then becomes, where does it go from that point? Does it move up into this area? Well, our forecast from the Tropical Prediction Center takes it to about Memphis by next Tuesday. Now, will this get close enough to this area to bring needed rainfall? That's what we're going to focus on, and I'm going to show you some of the forecast maps I've got. We're going to start out by using some of these, we call them ensembles or mini runs of a model, and this is the GFS. Brings it up towards, South Tennessee and then heads it off to the northeast. If this is the case, probably no major impact here. This would be the Canadian, a little closer from Memphis to Nashville to southeast Kentucky, but again, not really primed to give us good rainfall. And then this one, kind of the same idea, also brings it up towards Memphis to Nashville and southeast Kentucky. So the idea right now is probably heavier rains will be to the southeast of here. At least that's the thinking as of now. And this, by the way, would be about next Tuesday, Wednesday, when something like that would happen. I do want to show you a couple of these are specific hurricane models. This is forecast basically for about midnight to 2 a.m. Sunday night, bringing the eye on almost due southern Louisiana. And this would be, again, high-end Category 2, low-end Category 3. The winds that you see there, those are wind speeds, close to 100 miles per hour when it comes on shore. And this is another model run. Takes it over a little bit more to the east. Not quite as strong, but probably still got winds in the 80 to 90, maybe close to 100 range, right around the eye wall of this. And the timing on this would be, this was actually earlier in the day on Sunday. So sometime Sunday night is what we're looking at with probably landfall towards Louisiana. So I want to show you what we've got on our forecast here coming up, because we do show maybe a few scattered storms on Friday, probably not much Saturday, probably not much until late Sunday. But we got to watch Tuesday, Wednesday for two reasons: potentially tropical moisture, but a front moving in, and then a front is going to break the heat down some next week as well. So let's talk about rainfall out of this and where we think it will go. Obviously, you can look at this and see where this forecast model takes the swath of heavy rain. This is the European model. And by the way, this is rainfall for the next 10 days, but you can obviously see where Ida comes into Louisiana and then stays primarily in Kentucky and Tennessee. This is the GFS, same general idea, keeping the heavier rains to the south. And this is the Canadian, and kind of the same idea, although getting into southeastern Indiana. But you can definitely see the models are in pretty good agreement of curving this to the southeast of this area. So I've basically zoomed in on these. This is the European. Again, this is through the next 10 days. So some of this rain will not be related to hurricane. But you can see the hurricane swath of rain, where there's 4 to 5 inches, maybe more, in parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. This would be the GFS model. Some of this rain, by the way, in those northern counties for us already happened today, where we got some rain. This model was from this afternoon on, so we've already gotten some of that. But you can again see the swath of the heavy rain, Kentucky and Tennessee. And now this is the Canadian, which does bring it closer, maybe even clip some of our counties. And you can see some of the rains of 1 to maybe 3 inches there in southeastern Indiana, with some 3 and 4 inch rains in Kentucky and Tennessee. The point is it's probably going to get close, but the thinking right now is it might not quite get up into this area. And here's why. Here's a map for Sunday morning. Here comes Ida nearing Louisiana. But for us, notice the cold front to the northwest. This is on Sunday morning. This is now Monday morning. Here comes Ida into Arkansas, but the front is coming through and high pressure is pushing down. So as we get into Tuesday, it basically suppresses the track of this and keeps the remnants of Ida down towards Memphis, and that's where your heavier rains would be. And now this is getting into Thursday, sliding it off to the east of this area, and then you can kind of see the idea on this. The prediction here is that, again, we keep a lot of the heavier rain to the southeast. So the point is this. We do have some off and on rain chances, the scattered thunderstorm chances the next couple of days. We have a front coming in next Monday, Tuesday, which will probably spark some storms. But right now, the odds of seeing much help with tropical moisture, it looks like a close call, but we're leaning towards probably more southeast of this area. This may change. We're a few days away. It's something that we will definitely be keeping an eye on. So that's a wrap on that. I did want to show you something as we end here. Again, back to the forecast where we've got the scattered storms I talked about Friday, and again, maybe late Sunday. The front comes in Monday, Tuesday with some rain, and then later next week actually looks pretty pleasant. A little bit less humidity and also some drier weather moves in. So we're going to end with this. So this is called sea surface temperature anomaly. In other words, how far above or below would be the sea surface temperatures in degrees Celsius. This is based on what's going on right now. And you can see the warm waters in the Gulf of Alaska off the eastern seaboard, and a little cooler out there in the El Nino regions of the Pacific. So what I've done is try to figure out another time during this time of the year that it was similar. And so I'm just going to slide this over. So now what you're looking at over on the left-hand side is the current. What you're looking at on the right-hand side is one I found which was kind of similar. And if you look at that, you got the warm waters in the Gulf of Alaska, the warm water off the eastern seaboard, and then you have a little bit of that cooling there from South America into the tropical middle part of the Pacific. One on the left is current. One on the right, by the way, was in August of 2013. So, and this is something I use when I do a winter outlook, is I look a lot at the sea surface temperatures. The winter of 2013-2014 was a tough winter here. We had a lot of snow, we had a lot of cold. It's a long ways out. I will be doing a lot of research between now and then, but I did think it was interesting when you look at the sea surface temperatures now, and the last time that it was fairly close to that was in 2013, and we had a tough winter. So anyway, we'll see what happens. So that's the scoop as of now. We'll keep tracking the hurricane progress. If you have family and friends in Louisiana, that looks like the target on the landfall on Sunday evening. And right now we think heaviest rains to the southeast of here, but something we'll watch as we head through time. Also take it easy. The heat is going to continue with a heat advisory. It does look to break some as we get into next week with a front coming through by the first and middle of next week.